is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the altar, and this time we are here with Anna of League of Distortion. Great to be able to talk with you. Thanks for being here.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
It's so awesome to have you here. The debut League of Distortion album coming out very soon. This is absolutely an amazing album. Was being that this is the debut, was there sort of like a preconceived vision behind this album? Were you like maybe trying to combine elements of Exit Eden and Kissing Dynamite together into sort of one project, or was this like a very like organic, improvisational and experimental songwriting process?
Well, there was definitely a vision, but not much into the songwriting part and on the musically part. I've been envisioning my own real band with musicians that had been by my side the past years, the past 10 years, and always talking about a big project I was going to do at some point. And that was definitely something that was in my mind already. Musically, it was more the feeling we had that moment or that time. I'm really digging the new metal, yeah, that too, but the modern metal style, the metalcore style. But I'm kind of old school and digging the old new metal vibe. So I was trying to mix that a little bit, and also having some poppy influences and even some symphonic metal influences, obviously, definitely, with having Exit Eden in mind. But this wasn't really the idea of merging those two projects or anything.
When I first got the single, I listened to the music before like knowing who was in the band or how it all came together, and then I looked it up. I was like, really? This is the same artist, which I thought was absolutely incredible. And you're absolutely right when you compare like a track like Wolf or Lamb to a track such as Sin or Rebel by Choice. Every song like has its own unique vision and its own unique sound. Would you feel like you're expressed with all the different sounds that are incorporated in League of Distortion? Would you say that you're expressing different sides of who you personally are in a way?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Especially vocally. I mean, I do have the soft tunes to me. I have the rocky, distorted tunes, which is everything inside my voice, inside my body. And this was a definite great thing that I was able to do that, or that I am able to do that in League of Distortion. And it's really a band where I can feel that I am 100% myself personally, being doing this with my friends and also vocally.
Mhm. Well, when it comes to the vocal style, could a lyrical idea or a lyrical concept maybe help influence the sound of the music? Do you like need to hear music before you come up with lyrics, or could a lyrical idea maybe help dictate the direction of the sound that's on here?
It can be both for me. Sometimes I have a certain lyrical line, maybe even a title line in my mind, or even just a topic I want to write about. So I start with the lyrics, but I also sometimes just compose the songs with just any kind of a title line, and then think of, I don't, what do I really want to, what topic do I really want to give to this music?
Mhm. Do you want the lyrics to be open to interpretation, or could is there like a specific concept or message that you're sort of trying to convey with this album?
I want there to be room for interpretation, definitely. But the message is pretty clear in the songs, I think. Having this empowerment with songs like My Revenge or The Bitter End, also encouraging to talk about topics that are maybe not talked about in public, for It Hurts So Good, also for Sin. And it's definitely, I want the people to think, if the people are open for the lyrics, I want them to think what we mean with them. And I think we do like to provoke a little bit and give a hint, and it's pretty clear, but sometimes it's like you say, it has room for interpretation, and I think that's really great.
And I wanted to ask this too because being that all of you are going in League of Distortion with these sort of like aliases with Ace and Aro and Axe and Aeon, Are you almost in a way like portraying this, for lack of better words, but like portraying like characters or people who are outside of your own personality in a way? Are you portraying like an external element outside of the Anna that we know?
It's more a part of us. It's like it's not portraying someone else. It's this certain part of what's inside of you, what you want to be more present. So I think it is, and I see this for everyone. Like my vision is also that people who are part of the fans, part of the league, we want to open up, not only being League of Distortion as band, but opening up to the audience, to everyone who wants to be part of this universe, and also giving them the question, what would your league name be? What is inside yourself you want the people to see more, you feel more comfortable, also what gives you more power or more self esteem. So it's nothing totally different, but it's this one side inside of us that we want to focus on a little bit, and that's why the league names.
Which I think is really incredible. Is it a coincidence that every name is one syllable beginning with the letter A, or Aeon is two, but like.
It was actually a coincidence. Like when I came up with this idea, not knowing if this was a good idea or a bad one, but I just threw it out there. I mean, we had a lot of time to think about how we want to be with League of Distortion, because we really started in 2020, and before that, I had ideas in my head already. So this really built throughout the time, meeting up with the boys or just having Zoom sessions the way you and I are doing it now, and talking about the new ideas. Hey, how would you guys think of this? How would you? So we were able to build this whole idea of the band without anybody from the public watching us yet. That was pretty cool. And it was actually a coincidence that the names ended up with an A.
And I think, it's so interesting. Like, a lot of people frown upon this, but I think it's going to be unique that any band that formed between like 2020 to now, like, it ain't going to be like, oh, we met at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, or we met at, this other gig. Like, we started on Zoom. It's just representing like the formation of rock in the future. And I think that this music has such a futuristic element behind it. I don't even know if this was your intention, but it is almost kind of like a product of the time. Like, we met in the future and we're going to sing about the future.
Yeah, yes. But it's still supposed to be the reality. I mean, it's not like an additional world where we meet and it's like a fantasy world. I want the people to feel in the reality too at a concert, and to just feel the energy and feel the vibe of League of Distortion, and maybe have the league names, maybe be part of this vision we have, and but take this in their real life, empowering them in their real life to be the character they want to be, and to stand up for themselves, and to feel more powerful.
Yeah. Well, I believe that the future is here and we're already living in it. There's no concept of. So I think in the end we were both right with that regard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I never usually like to ask what the meaning of the band name is, but every metal band, no matter how heavy, uses distortion in their sound. You have it not only in your sound but in your name as well. Was that also like the intention? You're the League of Distortion. Is that like a reflection? Could people maybe get an idea of what your sound is just based on the name?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? It's not even that easy to find a band name nowadays, because you come up with an idea, Google it, and then there's already like three bands with that name. We were really struggling, but having the league, having this community in the name was really, really important for us. And then coming up with this technical musical sound, of distortion, of the way I sing, of, as you say, the distortion sound of the music, bass and guitar, really just overlined our name. And if you want to pronounce it right, it's League of Distortion.
Well, I don't have the vocal cords to be able to do that every single time. You do, and you keep doing that anytime you want. Do And when it comes to the league that is a League of Distortion, does that apply to just the band members, or could anybody within your team working with you behind the scenes or just your fan base also be part of the League of Distortion?
That's exactly it. We want to invite everybody. It's starting with us four. It's continuing with the songwriters and the producers we work with who are part of the family and part of our inner circle, and opening this up to anyone who goes to a concert and knows this is, I love this. I want to have more of this, not only musically. I just want to be part of this energy and of this community. We really want to build this league over bigger and really have a great community.
Mhm. And going back to the sound and how every song really does play by its own rules, I do consider League of Distortion, for lack of better terms, to be an experimental band because of all the different sounds and styles. Does that make it a little bit easier to sort of try new things in a way because you're not really confined to a symphonic metal or power metal or metalcore or whatever, something like that?
Absolutely. That was, I mean, we didn't have a label when we started, so we really started just by putting down our ideas, taking a risk, being oh, let's try this. This is pretty cool, showing it to friends and getting a feedback of yeah, we can just do whatever we really feel like doing. And to be honest, we're really curious to see how this will be when we release this on the 25th of November, to see how the metal community takes our experiment and takes our new sound. Super exciting.
Well, what's funny is it being released on Napalm Records. I feel like that this is like, and huge shout out to everybody at Napalm, a huge supporter of this outlet as well. Like, League of Distortion is almost like a retrospective of all the different bands on their rosters. There's like the symphonic, metal aspect that they're like the kings of that in a way. But then they also have the real heavy like new aspects with the bands of Vexed or Ginger or something like that, and then there and also the good rock and roll vibe that are also affiliated with Napalm. So I feel like that this is almost kind of like the essential smorgasbord of Napalm sounds.
Super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just my industry mind talking, but wanted to bring that up. Um,
Yeah.
in order to get inspired, whether it's coming up with ideas for lyrics or the sound or whatnot, do you need to almost look for inspiration? Do you seek it out in a way and put yourself in a specific place to cultivate ideas, or does inspiration just strike out of the blue for you? Yeah.
So with COVID and having time suddenly, it made me sit down and open up to the feelings that had been maybe hidden through the last years. So this was definitely something where the inspiration came flowing, and situations of the past came up that made me write songs and lyrics about that. And also being in this mindset of what I wish for League of Distortion, with the song LOD, for example, to have like an anthem, or with tricky topics. It was a flow. It didn't go fast. Sometimes it took really weeks to finish some lyrics because I wasn't happy with it, or I needed a different twist, or I wanted it to sound different. But the inspiration was definitely there.
Mhm. And it's funny you mentioned too that you were writing lyrics for weeks or something. That's common, artists, taking months, days, weeks to work on a song. Do you find that maybe the longer you're working on something, the harder it is to sort of like maintain that emotion that initially sparked the idea?
Hmm. I really love writing lyrics, and I really love putting out a first draft and then putting it down again and just thinking about it again and getting into the words again and just looking at it from maybe a different perspective, or maybe even an analytical perspective of, oh, I don't like these words to be the same. I want a different word here because it doesn't really show what I want, or I don't want it to be repetitive. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and because I've always just wondered like how somebody could work on a song for so long in a way, because that almost can like, don't you like to feel the same way when you finish a song as you do when you start it?
I think I can get into that vibe very good again. It's I just have to feel in that vibe again, and and then I can also put it down and come back. Sometimes, like when I do finish songs, like some people never finish a song, or it's like it always could be better, or I don't know. But I do have the feeling of finishing a song sometimes, like Wolf or Lamb. I remember finishing the lyrics and looking at them and reading through them and really being so happy with every word. And that's a really great feeling too. But if I don't have that, like if I have feelings of, oh, I don't like that word, or this still annoys me, then I still have the opportunity to change it usually.
Mhm. Is it better if everybody in the band is sort of like on the same page when songwriting and is feeling the same way and is all like sort of like on a level playing field with the same idea? Or could everybody feeling differently emotionally or technically with the song maybe help enhance what the songwriting is?
I think it's probably easier when everybody's kind of in the same zone or has the same feelings to a certain topic. But this is just natural in my band because we are different. Of course, we have totally different lifestyles, but we really have the same mindset, and we are open the same way, and we like to talk about hard topics, and we like to provoke each other a little bit and dig into certain topics, and maybe even changing perspective just to have a good conversation, and then say, yeah, I have the same point, but I still just wanted to get in there with you and just talk about this. um, I think it's good if we're on the same page.
And when you talk about topics that are relatively hard or challenging, could that maybe make the songwriting process just as deteriorating as it is cathartic?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I because I've always wondered, like, could sometimes an artist become a victim of their own product in a way, as I like to call it, when they address hard topics and like they almost succumb to madness in the creative process, and then nothing could ever get done.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think, or that's why, I mean, that's part of my nature too, but that's why I like to have a positive vibe in the song in the end. Of course, dealing with terrible topics or with hard topics, but getting that vibe into a get up again, fight till the bitter end. You're not alone with what you are. My revenge, you will get up, you will be out there. And the songs even encouraged me while recording, or also listening to them when they were done and it wasn't clear when this would ever be released, to still be there and to really believe in what we have here and believe in myself. And I really want this to be a message for the people listening to our songs.
Definitely, definitely, and I could see a lot of people getting off of it. This is a fun listen. Like I don't think it's and as much as I love like concept albums or I love some of the most depressing music that's out there. I feel like that this is just a fun listen to get lost into. You know what I mean?
Nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And I have two more questions for you. Do you feel that with the many different sounds of League of Distortion, that this could also allow you to play with many different styles of bands?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're happy to be in the metal scene, and this is where we feel the most comfortable, I think. But if we were able to get a little bit more in the pop scene or in the mainstream direction and encourage the people that or the mainstream people that guitar music is good and distorted music is good, and kind of get them to our style of music through that. I mean, that would be amazing. And even having the opportunity to play with bands that are maybe not metal, or festivals that are not only a metal festival, that would be very, very exciting.
I could definitely see so many people outside of metal. I've always said that the future of music is genreless, and but I definitely see League of Distortion being a prime example of how that is going to be the case.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
of course. And the final question is the most difficult one, as I ask every artist. How do you know when you're finished with a song?
Yes, yes, that is difficult. For me, the to finish the whole album was actually even harder than finishing the individual songs, because we've been working on it so long, and we always had it there to get the backups and to check the new versions and to see, oh yeah, this is a little bit different now than the first version, and listen through it so many times. And when it was about to have the deadline to really give away the master for the CD press law, that was the hardest part. That was really it's like giving away or letting your, I don't know, I imagine that be like letting your child go to school or something, and you don't really have any impact on it anymore, and just hope for it to work out, and you can't really work on it anymore. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's a good analogy actually. When you send someone off to school, because you don't know what they're gonna go learn in school, and you don't know what they've learned from their peers and everything else. So that's actually a really good analogy. I've never heard that one before. So
Okay.
thanks for a good answer on that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today and for such an awesome conversation to start off this Friday with, to start the weekend off with. Is there just anything else with League of Distortion that you would like to promote with the release of this self-titled debut? I cannot wait for the rest of the world to hear it. But anything else you'd like to promote in terms of shows and what we could be expecting from the near future?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to encourage everybody to check out our music videos, because we just put so much energy in them, and we're so proud of every one of them. And yeah, I think that's something that everyone around the world can see, because touring is going to be first in Germany, and then we're going to spread out to Europe. And I think it will take quite a little bit of time to hit the US. But you never know. You never know. I mean, we would absolutely love that.
Yeah, it would be worth the
Just
wait.
so, yeah.
It'll be worth the wait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Super nice. Just support us if you can through watching videos, through pre-ordering our album, and yeah, sharing it with your friends. Try to get the league out there. Be part of the league from the very beginning. And yeah, we can't wait for concerts. We can't wait to see the people, to really be there with the crowd, and to have this energy flow over from us to everybody.
From the videos to this, from the videos to the music, I've seen it all. I cannot wait to hear this live. So hopefully you get to make it to the U.S. sooner than later.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Everybody, we are here with Anna, aka Ace of League of Distortion. Be sure to check out the self-titled debut coming out November 25th. We will see you next time on Heavy New York.
Hell yeah!